Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Welcome to Clinical Tuesday. I'm Dr. Lindsay Huey, one of the lead faculty for extremity management. So happy to be with you this morning on a Clinical Tuesday. I'm actually down in Knoxville, Tennessee at South College, where we have our 2-year doctorate program, hybrid accelerated. And so it's kind of an honor to be doing it from here and good to see you all. Today's topic is at-home energy storage and release training for Achilles tendons. Before I dive into what that looks like, and then just the review kind of the overall full package of Achilles tendon rehab, I want to tell you about some courses that our extremity management team has coming up. So we're kind of all over the country, which is really cool. And we have lots of opportunities for you to check us out in our open courses starting as soon as June 24th, 25th in Oklahoma. And then we're in Maryland, July 16th, 17th, and then Arizona, August 6th, 7th. I'm really pumped for that. Megan Daly will be with me at that course. It should be very warm, but we're still going to work out. And then all the way through the fall. So our last course of the year is in Colorado, November 5th, 6th. So take a look on ptonice.com, and we'd love to see you in 2022. If not, you can't make it in 2022. We are already scheduling out 2023 courses. So reach out to Mark and Lant or myself for more info. But so great to be with you. So back to the topic at hand. So just a little bit about Achilles tendon of review so you can kind of understand the importance of energy storage and release. But we first have to understand it as a comprehensive plan. So we know with Achilles tendons, they are mechanoresponsive and viscoelastic. They have to work, they have to absorb energy, and they have to also work as a spring, right? They have to handle long duration loads, and they also have to do quick movements. And so our comprehensive plan includes training both of those aspects. And we know from the literature that the best treatment is exercise. And we have at the highest level of evidence for rehab that exercise is that go-to. What that looks like is that we not only need to strengthen the gastroc, the soleus, and we'll do that via heavy slow or eccentrics. Both have really panned out in the literature to be very helpful for the tendon. And really the key with those, whatever one you do choose for your patients, it's higher loads at longer duration, a slower contraction rate. We get more bang for our buck here. So it starts with that as a foundation, but we can't stop there to fully maximize function for Achilles tendons. We also have to include multi-segmental joint training like the squat and the deadlift, and we have to work up to 85% one rep max. So we're looking at a 5x5, and it's so tough. It's hard that you have to rest 3 minutes. That has to also be a part of a comprehensive plan for Achilles tendon rehab. But finally, that last step, besides getting that tendon just stronger, whether it's eccentrics or heavy slow, and then working on multi-segmental full joint neuromuscular control and strength, because the Achilles are responsible for body load, right? They are also responsible for energy storage and release. So things like jumping and running and going up and down stairs quickly. These movements increase loading on the tendon via body weight speed load. But you can't start there when you have an irritable tendon. And so the bulk of the morning will be about, well, how do we start training that when tendons are irritable? Because that is a demand of daily life, right? To move quickly, to pivot, to go up and down steps, to get out of a chair quickly. So where we're going to start is with rebounding heel raises, and we're going to start them as early as possible. And I'll demo that in a bit, but I do want to tell you kind of where this inspiration comes from, because it was Dr. Karen Cybernagel, one of our leading ladies of tendinopathy out of the University of Delaware, where she wrote and her team, an awesome current clinical concepts of conservative management of Achilles tendinopathy in 2020. And this came out of the Journal of Athletic Training. And her team would say there are 4 stages. So first off, when the tendon's hot, highly irritable, all ADLs hurts just to walk. You can't even do 10 heel raises without pain. You're in that symptom management and load reduction phase. And you really want to dampen symptoms. So we're not doing rebounding here. But that second, third, and fourth stage, you are. So the next stage besides symptom management and load reduction is recovery phase. rebuilding phase, and return to sport phase. And you can check out that article to get details on this or join virtual ICE because I just did a talk on this last Tuesday. But those are the phases as per Dr. Karin Cybernagel and her team. And the reason I highlight that, what she kind of illuminated for me, that after symptom modulation, get into rebounding, which is fast, quick movements for the tendon, and get at it at high reps. So 20 reps, 3 sets. And so this is not something I was originally incorporating with my patients. I was waiting till later on to introduce this. And I'm going to really implore you all to start working once irritability has come down and we're more in that low to moderate every day, starting to do rebounding. So I'd love to show you what that looks like, and then just highlight a bit about body weight per second loading, because that load on the tendon spikes as you add speed. So you have to be really mindful of that. But rebounding heel raises, for those that aren't familiar, and I think we have a pretty good view here, but someone comment if not. I'm going to adjust the camera just a tiny bit in this corner. Oof, it's good on Instagram, not great on, hold on. Bear with me here for a second. So it kind of looks like a normal heel raise, but there's speed on board. So I'm going to hold onto the wall, not lean on the wall, but I'm going to have a little bit of an anterior lean. And what you want is it's fast loading. So you don't hit the ground. There's no rest. You approach the ground and then spring back up. So 20 of these in a row where you're really pushing off and doing it quickly for the patient. And so 20 reps, that adds up pretty quick. And you'll always start at double leg initially for your patients. But then what we want to see, sorry, Instagram, for going out of the camera for a second, is that you start building, right? As that gets easier for the patient, then progress to single leg rebounding, that quick motion. And it's not a rest at the bottom, it's approach and then quickly go back up. And so I would challenge you, if this is not in your plan of care and your patient's out of that symptom management and load reduction phase, they're in the next phases of recovery, rebuilding, return to sport, please consult that article to get a little bit better clinical picture of what those phases look like. But I want this to be in your care for your human. And so it's so easy to do at home, right? You find a wall, find a kitchen counter, and your patient can do this. Something just to bring to light, Baxter and team, Karin Cybernagel is on this team. They did some research out of UPenn, and they looked at tiers, and they did 4 tiers for body weight per second loading, so that you can appreciate that rebounding is pretty significant. And that's why when you have like a hot Achilles tendon, you don't want to start with it. So just to give you a little point of reference, when we think about low body weight per second, a seated heel raise is about 2.7 times your body weight per second, versus the high tier 4, forward hopping one leg, would be 67.1 times your body weight. So body weight per second. So consider those are the two extremes. And now rebounding actually falls in the middle. So rebounding double leg is about 19.9 body weight per second loading. And then when you progress to single leg, it's 26.2 body weight per second loading. And so these numbers, it is our job to consider this, right? And that knowing that as we add speed, that's really going to increase load. And the Baxter 2021, I can put that reference in there, but I consult that on the regular as I'm thinking about progressing my patient when doing Achilles tendon rehab, to know that I'm not just jumping right from something that I was doing in tier 1 all the way to tier 4, because that's how we flare up our tendons and we really put them backwards in their rehabilitation. So rebounding, if it is not a part of your care, rebounding heel raises, make it a part of your care for Achilles tendon. It's easy to do at home, 3 sets of 20 every day until that tendon is rehabbed. And we know Achilles tendons take like a year to a year and a half. It's a lot of rebounding, right? But your patients will be better for it. The other thing, for the patient that just doesn't get the rebounding or hates it, or maybe there's like a balance component, steps are a great thing to think about that kind of mimic that as well. So that's a little clinical pearl from Ebony Rio, right? Use the steps. Maybe someone has to hold onto the rail initially, and you're just timing them going up and down the steps. Maybe it's 20 reps, right? And then you tell them to do it faster, and then they're running up and down the steps. So you're getting There's ways to use things at home besides the rebounding. The steps is that other go-to. I hope that you'll consider including this in your plan of care. Thank you for your time this morning on this Clinical Tuesday. It's always an honor to be with you, and have a beautiful rest of your day, team.